I said I wanted to start my streams off with catching up on a news segment of the week or some type of gaming news within the shooter realm to discuss. And I asked on Instagram, what should I talk about for stream today? And the vote was revisiting Splitgate 2. Now, let's back up a little bit and let's talk about Splitgate and the story and the crux of Splitgate. So the year is, what is it? 2019 going into 2020. We're all basically in the beginning of the pandemic. We're all locked down. Everybody is working from home or at home. And this game launches its first playtest in 2019, which was Splitgate 1, and it launched to some pretty decent numbers and some pretty decent player counts, and it was a pretty decent game. It was a shooter, arena shooter with portals, and naturally with everybody being at home, everybody's into gaming or catching up on their passions for games because we're all locked down in the house. We finally have time to do it. And the game, Splitgate, just came at the perfect time when everybody was at home with nothing to do. So, it locked in some pretty decent numbers, and it was kind of a hit. It had about 600,000 downloads, which is nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty good. It launched. It was there. People were feeling it, but naturally, it slowly died out, and it was no longer sustainable. So the developers, which is 1047 Games, announced that they were sunsetting Splitgate 1 to work on a new game, which is Splitgate 2. Fast forward to Splitgate 2, we get Splitgate 2. We get a alpha and a beta test, one of which I actually played. At the time, I personally also was getting a little burnt out from Apex, and I was looking for something new to play. So I caught the alpha for Splitgate 2 literally the last day before it ended, and I was like, okay, this game is fun. I even still have old videos that I made on my channel from that alpha. So Splitgate 2, it had an alpha, it had a beta, it was bringing in some pretty decent numbers, and then it was time for it to launch. Now there began to be talk about Splitgate potentially adding a BR. Now, that was met with 50-50 feelings. A lot of the OG Splitgate players did not want a battle royale added to the game. A lot of OGs felt like it would just ruin the game, and it was not the core of what a lot of old school Splitgate players wanted. But then we have this new version of the game. We have new players on the game, and you have players coming from different genres of game, and battle royales are just what's popping, So you have one half of the spectrum who's like, I would like Splitgate to have a BR. You have the other half of the spectrum that's like, I don't want Splitgate to have a BR. But nothing had been announced yet. This was only speculation. Right? So the game launches. Everybody's feeling it. It's holding about a good 25,000, 30,000 players, which is very, very good. Then, hello, this is post-editing Topaz, just letting you all know that I made a grave mistake in my timing. The whole time I meant the Summer Games Fest of this year and not the Gaming Awards of 2024. So I'm going to add corrections here. Fast forward to the Game Awards for 2024. Okay, here is where Splitgate 2 up. We are at the Game Awards in December of 2024, and Splitgate has been invited on stage to talk more about Splitgate 2. Now, enter pretty much what I consider and a lot of people consider the downfall of Splitgate 2 right here. So, in this video, we have the developer and co-founder of 1047 Games, whose name is Ian Pruitt, right? He is going to talk about his game, and he has an announcement for millions of people. Now, you're thinking, this is my time. This is my precious time to get my game in front of millions of people. So let's watch again what Ian decided to do.
Hey guys, I'm Ian Prue, the co-founder of 1047 Games. When we started Splitgate in our dorm room, we just wanted to make a game we could play with our friends, and 20 million of you played with us. Now, with the help from our amazing community, we've built Splitgate 2. Why?
Now, pause for a second. Let's take a look at the hat, okay? Let's back up a little bit. Let's back up. So he starts off pretty okay.
Community,
He starts off okay.
Splitgate 2. Why? Because I grew up playing Halo.
Now, let's look at this hat. This hat says, make FPS great again. Now, I'm not gonna go back and forth, right? I'm not gonna go back and forth. What I'm going to say is that this was not the best idea. Now, if you know anything about what's happening in the world at the moment, this style of hat invokes a lot of feelings in some people, and not so great feelings. So he decides that he and 1047 Games are somehow going to make FPS great again.
And I'm tired of playing the same Call of Duty every year. And I wish we could have Titanfall 3. With Splitgate 2, we asked ourselves, how would we take Portals to the next level? What if you could portal to entirely different worlds? So we combined the action, movement, and gunplay of arena shooters with the scale and intensity of something much bigger. Splitgate Battle Royale launches free right now, and it's fucking awesome.
So he gets on stage. He willingly kind of shits on other games for really no apparent reason. He also wears that hat, and this is where they announced the Splitgate 2 Battle Royale. Now, this right here, single-handedly, let's be real. This is what killed the game for a lot of people. I just don't think it was the best decision that he could have made. You know what I mean? And I talked about this before on TikTok, on different platforms. I made videos about it as well. It was just not a good idea. It was not a good idea, and it pretty much ruined Splitgate 2. Now, fast forward, because of partially this moment and what was not so great of a launch for the BR, naturally players stopped playing the game, and basically Splitgate 2 launched from a beta, had a full launch, and then went back into a beta because they decided that they rushed it. They rushed. It was too much. They bit off more than they could chew, as per their statement. So now it's 2025, and Splitgate is trying to make its return as Splitgate Arena Reloaded. Now, let's take a look at the trailer. And mind you, this is supposed to relaunch literally in 4 days on December 17th. So let's see what possibly we might have to be looking forward to. Okay, we got the portals. Got more guns. Same era, same DNA. Got a bunch of maps. We got pretty much the same game. So my thing is what's wild is they're basically what happened was the crux of the story is they launched Splitgate 1 in 2020 during the pandemic. Then they said, we're no longer working on Splitgate 1 because we want to make Splitgate 2. They launched Splitgate 2. They ruined the launch of Splitgate 2. And after the OG Splitgaters was like, bruh, don't release a BR. Just stick to the core of Splitgate. Now, in 2025, they're deciding to stick to the core of Splitgate, which basically means they are releasing Splitgate 1 all over again. You know, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. They had the chance to make Splitgate 2 good. They had something. The game was fun, and I thought that it had potential. But let's be real. The 2024 Game Awards hold them. So it's just, I don't know. It's not looking good for them. I doubt Splitgate Arena Reloaded will reach its full potential. And that just should be a lesson learned, as consumers, as people with beliefs and values and money. We speak with our wallets, but sometimes we also speak with our feelings, and that's neither here nor there. And that's exactly what happened to Splitgate. That man got up on that stage and he just pissed a bunch of people off. And Splitgate was never the same after that. So I'm interested. Let me know what you think about Splitgate 2's relaunch into the scene. Will it go well? Will it die again? Who's to say?